All right, everyone, class is about to start. Take your seats. Welcome to UGC One-on-One, the podcast about all things user-generated content.
Welcome back to the UGC One-on-One podcast. I'm your host, Nate Flake, and today we are talking about a topic that is very interesting to me, so I'm excited to learn. We are talking about Travel UGC and how to do UGC while you travel and live abroad, and we have an awesome guest. Ashh, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a little bit about where you're from and kind of how you fell into UGC and kind of where you're at now?
Yeah. So, like I said, like Nate said, I'm Ashh and I'm from Australia, Melbourne. So I started my journey in social media management. So originally I gotten into the online space through managing other people's socials and kind of fell into UGC. I was doing a course with a mentor on basically how to get more clients through social media management, and fell into the UGC from that side and that community. And I got myself on Fiverr like we all do to try and get the leads come through, and saw a crazy uptake in people wanting to book with me as I started my prices low like we all do to try and get some through.
Yep.
And it just kind of took off from there. And that became more, where my passions lie, and what I was like, this is crazy. I'm getting paid for doing something I love doing and creating content for people.
So you were already doing social media management. How long ago was that? And then also how long before you decided like, I'm just going full blown UGC?
Yeah. So I actually still do. I have two clients. Yeah, okay, cool. I have two clients for social media management still. I'm not taking any more on though, because I am focusing on the UGC side because I love it so much. But so I actually had kind of fell into it because I had friends with businesses. So I was doing their socials, and then they're like, why don't you do this for a job? So that's how I got into the social media side. So I've been doing that for a couple of years. And then towards the end of last year, I actually got somebody who was talking about UGC, and I was like, what is UGC? I had no idea what it actually was. And I did the course, and I was like, oh, you know what? It's basically creating videos. I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of doing a little bit of UGC without knowing I was doing UGC on my own page, just for practicing videos. And then, that's how I kind of like took off from there. So it was towards the end of last year that I fell into the UGC side. But then in the last couple of months, I've really started to lean into it a lot more.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how many people I've talked to that have said that. Like, I was already doing UGC, not realizing I was doing it, right? And especially you on the social media management side, you were probably posting a lot of UGC content, either of your own or like stuff that you had people making, right?
Yeah.
Not knowing that like, oh, this has some fancy term to it too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's wild. So you're from Australia, you live in Bali. How did you end up there? Right. And I'm jealous, very jealous. You probably have a lot of people saying that. I just talked to a guy the other day that spends half of his year in Bali, the other half here in the States. And he was like, dude, you gotta check it out. But how did you end up there?
Well, Bali is like the second Australia, I think people call it, because it's so close, but so far from anything else. So obviously I'd traveled here quite a bit, and I always had spent a bit of a longer term time whenever I came, and it just felt like home. So when I started my business and I started to go online with my business, I was like, that was the goal. Like, move to Bali was the goal. And it actually was the goal for around this time this year, but it came quicker because of UGC. So with my management side of things, I obviously have my retainers on that side. But then when I got UGC, it just gave me that extra income coming in that I was like, oh my God, I can actually quit my job earlier and go earlier. Yeah. So the goalpost was moved forward by 6 months. And that was where I chose. This is where I chose, and this is where I landed. And it just feels like, to me, you can fall in the trap of feeling like it is a holiday every day. So you do have to kind of rein yourself in a little bit, like, no, this is life, I'm working. But it just feels like home. Like, the people are beautiful. You meet amazing people here from all over the world. And it just feels like a beautiful place to be. There's so much of Bali to explore as well.
So how long have you been there?
I've been here for 3.5 months now. I did leave at the end of last year, but I was traveling through New Zealand and a couple of other Thailand and stuff like that as well. So, but Bali's the base.
The home base. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard there's a pretty awesome expat community there, and also like working from home, like working digital nomad or whatever you want to call it, is great because like the internet's great, the infrastructure is great, right? Can you
Yeah.
speak a little bit about that?
Look, yeah, the internet can be like a little bit on and off. They are getting better with the infrastructure for it. There was a power outage about, I think it was 2 months ago. The Wi-Fi, not even just the Wi-Fi, but the mobile internet, everything was down, like the whole power, everything. Something
Oh,
had
sheesh.
happened to one of the lines in the ocean. It got cut or something like that. So there was a couple of weeks where we were kind of in and out of having Wi-Fi and power, which was quite interesting for all of the people that worked online. But it did help you to kind of like actually give yourself a break as well. But other than that, like, they are working on improving a lot of that stuff. And while I've been here, I haven't really experienced it other than that, one time, which is that's not a normal event. It was something
Yeah,
that, like,
yeah. Well,
it was a
I'd
full
heard like,
blackout.
yeah, just the opposite. Like it's like great for people working abroad,
Yeah,
that
so there are definitely areas that like the Wi-Fi is really good in, and there are like more of the remote local areas that the
yeah,
Wi-Fi can be a little bit choppy, and it does depend on where you stay as well and
yeah,
those types of things. But I've never really had like a huge issue with the internet. There's been a few times where it's kind of dropped out a little bit, but that yeah, like I said, they're really good with working on that infrastructure for the power and the Wi-Fi and stuff. I
yeah.
think now it's a lot better than what it was.
Do you do a lot of like co-working spaces, or like how does it work, or is everyone just like, hey, I'm straight up working from my apartment, or like wherever I'm staying?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a mix. It depends, I guess, on the personality of the person. Some people like to have that co-working. Some people like to do it from home if they're focused. For me, I like to do the co-working, and most of the people that I talk to, they like to do the co-working, or they just like to be in an environment where other people are kind of working and around. There are a lot of places that like offer co-working, like specific co-working spaces. But for me, you don't come to Bali to work in an office, so I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah,
tend to
yeah,
go in those. And I do film content as well. So like that type of stuff, I'll mostly film from where I'm staying. Or I'll find a quiet cafe where I can film like a video for my page.
yeah,
But all my brand stuff, obviously, I do from where I'm staying.
yeah. Are you? And this may be too personal a question. Do you do like long-term rentals? Or you Airbnb in it? Like, how do people do it normally?
There's a bit of a mix. So, at the moment, so I find the places on Airbnb. I book for 2 nights just to make sure that I'm happy with it. And then I'll message them directly and then pay for a month because it's cheaper that way. You can
Yeah,
also find them on like Facebook groups and stuff like that too. So I'm looking for something a little bit more long term now because I was just trying out a few different areas. But I really love like the area of Sessa and Chemagi because it's a bit quieter. It's not as crazy as
party
as
life. Yeah,
Canggu. Yeah, and I'm not here to party either. Like, I'm here to work. So, and it's so beautiful. Like, I overlook the rice fields, and
oh,
yeah. So I'm looking for something a bit more long term. But if you're like looking to come and try and figure out what you want to do and where you want to go, I would definitely suggest Airbnb, like book somewhere that you think looks nice for a couple of days. And then if you want to extend, like make sure there is room to extend. Don't book something and then like see that it's got booked out afterwards. But if it's got room to extend, then just message them. They'll give you a discount. Like they'll give you a discount on a weekly basis for paying in cash, and they'll give you even more of a discount if you pay monthly as well.
long term. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
the longer, the more they give you a discount.
Okay. So I want to start diving into some of the questions that obviously, like, honestly, I'm just curious about. I've noticed, like, I follow you on socials, obviously. You do a lot of like local, like UGC for like local places, which is really awesome. I've never like done an in-person UGC project.
Yeah.
How are you getting those? Like, what advice do you have? Are you just like walking into places and showing them your socials and be like, hey, I want to make you a UGC video? Or how are you doing that?
um, it's a bit of a mix, to be honest. So to start off with, they were finding me. My biggest thing is tag, like tag where you're going, in your stories. A lot of the places are so open to doing UGC with you. And if you like have your profile optimized, mine literally says UGC creator in it. And then I'm tagging other businesses when I'm going to like go eat there and stuff like that as well. Even if you're already paying for like a service, say for example, so for me, I went and did a facial and I did a video, did an example video for it. And then they actually asked me to come back and do a proper video for them. So like that's how I got that first one in.
Wow.
And then from there, it's kind of a bit of a snowball where a brand will interact with my content. So then I kind of interact with them back. And then I go into the DMs and ask if they want me to do a video for them. And, there's a mixed reaction, whether they either just don't reply or they do reply and they want you to do something, or they might reply to you and tell you to send an email and then they don't reply. So I just kind of follow up with them. I make sure I've like got a list of people that I've reached out to or want to reach out to, and just, reach out to them. Facebook groups as well. I'm in a lot of like Facebook groups, and I just kind of put my name in there saying this is what I do without being too salesy as well. So I'm just like, oh, I'm a content creator. I'll ask a question. And then from there, I'd had a villa reach out to me, and I've got a villa stay for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday that I'm doing next week as well. And that was through a Facebook group. So it really is about exposure. So it's not just posting on your Instagram. It's just about exposing yourself in different areas, because particularly in Bali, is a very big community of creators, and brands here understand the power of UGC and they want to work with UGC creators. You do have to be careful. Like if you don't have ketas and stuff like that, then you can't technically be paid for things. So at the moment with my in-person ones that I'm doing them for a service. And most of them, like their services, I would have gone and done anyway. So they're ones that I don't mind doing those if I'm doing those services.
Yeah.
If you do want to like work with them and get paid for it, you do probably have to like look into getting a KITAS and making sure that you have the right visa, because technically...
What's a KITAS? Like a working visa?
Working visa, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you technically can't get paid by... Yeah. So that's it. You can't get paid.
Local companies can't pay you because technically you're making money from the local economy.
Yeah, exactly. If they're a company that they're from, like they're owned by an overseas brand and it's not a local company, then it's completely fine. But if they're a local company, you can do service for service.
You're doing like trades and stuff.
You can't get paid. Yeah, you can't get paid.
Yeah. So like the villa, you're like getting a free stay in exchange for...
free stay in exchange for some content.
Video. Yeah, that's sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah. And those types of things, it like gets your name out there a bit more. And for me, I wasn't in the kind of travel niche or anything like that. So it's helping me build my portfolio up while I'm still getting jobs for other brands, like from international brands and all that stuff that I was working with. So, but it's helping me build that portfolio, because ultimately my goal is to be able to like go to a big hotel brand and say, this is my portfolio of content that I've done for say Airbnbs and travel and stuff, and I want you to pay me now. So yeah.
Well, and it's like, that's what we were talking about. I have a Discord community with a bunch of creators too, and somebody today got their first one, right? And everyone's like, how did you do it? And I think that's like everybody's goal, right? I mean, I've got kids, so I can't just be like chilling out for 3.5 months overseas, but that'd be, I mean, once they grow out of the house, maybe. But even if it's like a week or 2 weeks a year or something, or when there are vacations, to your point, you're going to go there anyways. It'd be really cool to get paid for it and to, take a couple hours to take some shots. It wouldn't be that hard to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got a student that she's gone to Zanzibar, and
Dang.
she was like, I want to get a couple of nights stay in a villa. She ended up being able to land a really nice villa from like pitch scripts that I given her as well. So she's like, I can't believe that I've gotten this villa. We've got like a couple of nights, because you would have paid anyway, right?
Yeah.
So she's
Yeah.
like,
Thousands
I'm
of
not
dollars
paying.
probably.
I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm saving thousands of dollars and I get to stay in an amazing villa just for a video, which you
Yeah.
love doing anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's like exactly what you said too. I mean, I like the fact that you mentioned Fiverr. Like that's my whole course is all about Fiverr, but like you're building, like, yes, you have to start low, and like, yes, for some of these you're doing them for free, but you're building
Mm.
your portfolio at the same time, which is what you would have had to do anyways,
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, I do most of my free services for things that I would have been paying for anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm saving that money anyway. So it's kind of like I'm being paid because I would have been paying for that service.
Yeah, it's your cost
So
of living, it's it's
yeah,
like your cost of living. So I
exactly.
think that's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, it's not like I am very picky about like gifted collabs. I don't do
Mm.
them, and if it's a product I don't care about, because like I don't want more
Yes,
crap at my house.
exactly. Yeah.
But if it's
Yeah.
something I really want, like I'm like, dude, I'll do that. That sounds cool.
Absolutely. I'm the same as well. I'm like, I'm not going to do it for a product that's like a, $50 product or something like that. That's really
Yeah.
way out. But if I'm doing it for a service that's a couple of $100 service, or a villa that's a couple of $100 per night, then that kind of weighs out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people I think Travel UGC seems to be like on the rise, but I think it's a lot more people talking the talk than actually walking the walk, right? Like it takes a lot of effort to go, and it's not like, I mean, unless you're a massive UGC creator and you can be like, get American Airlines to pay for your flight somewhere, like
Yeah.
you have to pay the expense to go to that place anyways. And so I still feel like, even though it's a popular or like a trendy thing right now, I still feel like it's very, very wide open industry. There's not a lot of people doing it
Yeah,
comparatively.
and I think the thing that people need to realize with the Travel UGC, that it does take time to be able to be paid from it. So if you don't have like I guess, if you don't have the baseline of funds, like of creating UGC or some sort of income that gives you the money to be able to actually travel to the place and do that stuff, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually lean into being able to be a travel creator unless you can kind of do that stuff in an area close to you. But like you said, yeah, you still have to pay for your flights. You still have to pay for like your food, and there's still all those travel expenses. So it's not like you're in Travel UGC and straight away you're getting paid for it and you're getting your flights paid for it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you don't just get that. So you do need to work up to having that. You do need to have like your baseline of, this is my income coming in through other UGC projects, or even having like a retainer client that pays you to do the content per month that kind of helps you stay afloat while you travel. Like, it does help if you don't have to pay for your accommodation. Obviously, that's a massive chunk off like your travel and your holiday, but you
Yeah.
still need to have money to live.
Yeah. Restaurants aren't like being like, hey, for the next 3 meals, you can come to our place. Yeah. You still have expenses. I
Yeah.
agree. So I want to change gears a little bit. So you live in Bali, you work with international brands. You've already talked about that. How is it really hard to get brands to like ship you stuff when you're traveling? Like, how does the logistics work? I've always wondered.
Yeah. It's a little bit of everything. So actually, Bali is really difficult because it has import tax. So
Okay.
the import tax is really high. So basically, when they ship you the product, when it can either get to you or not get to you. That's another issue as well. And then when it does actually get to you, you get a little slip. You have to go to the post office and you have to pay the import tax before you get the product.
Wow.
So brands that I work with pay for the import tax, and they're happy to do so. But you do have to, if you're going to be like traveling and working abroad, you have to kind of look at how you're going to get the products. A lot of products that I work with are digital as well.
Yeah.
So I lent into digital products by accident to be honest. I fell into those too. So like I do digital products, I do like informational, basically like
Software. Yeah.
yeah, those types of things, explaining how to use their program. So yeah, and I just signed on to another agency where I'm doing like ongoing work for a trading app. So
Yeah.
things like that, where you don't actually need the product physically. That is really, really good if you want to do Travel UGC. Another thing you can do is bring products over with you. So if you do have that long-term partnership with someone, you can bring the product with you. I have a friend that she does one for it's like a after drinking support, like
Yeah.
hangover aid.
Like dose or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she brought the product over with her, and then like obviously she'll just take videos on a night out. So she's already on the night out anyway.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the next morning she's like taking the product. So she's already got the product with her. For Australians, it's a lot easier to just like jump home and kind of grab the product to come back again, especially if you're, you know, for Australians, you can get parcel lockers. So you can get it sent to a parcel locker, say, for example, Perth, because that's the closest flight, or Darwin. Grab it from the parcel locker and come back. So
How far is that
there's
flight from Australia?
Darwin's like an hour and a half,
Oh,
and
that
I
is
think
wild.
Perth's 3 hours.
That's crazy. I mean, I just don't know my geography. I didn't realize you guys were so close.
Those areas are Melbourne's 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're on the other side. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that you definitely have to juggle it. It's not like super easy if you want physical products, and you do have to think about how the logistics are going to work. Sometimes I get it sent to a friend and they bring it over. I post on my stories who's coming to Bali.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I get the product sent to them and they just bring it over with them too. So you have to get creative
Yeah.
with
I was going to say that's
how you
wild.
get a product. And just like be open and honest with brands. If you explain to them, they're going to understand, because I think like with Fiverr, you can't change where you're located. So I had to put it in my gig. And yeah, most of the time they're like, okay, that's fine. I'll pay import tax, or that's fine. I'm happy
Yeah.
to wait. If they want to work with you, they will wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's like, as long as I think a lot of new creators, especially, and a lot of the people that listen to this podcast are new creators. I think they underestimate like how far good communication can go. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Even,
they'll see, like they'll say something, or I mean, right on the Discord group, like, hey, this brand needs this, but I live here, or I can't do it because of this. And my first response is, did you tell them that? Like, what'd they say?
yeah.
Like, you never know. Like, they may be like, oh, that's cool, that's fine. Like I had one today that wanted me. It actually sounded like a really cool. It was like this like meat company. Like they do, like, it's like kind of like Omaha Steaks here in the States, that are like quality steaks and stuff like that. And I'm like redoing my kitchen right now, and and they're like, send me the script. I'm like, oh, this looks good. And then they send me the B-roll. I'm like, oh, wait. I don't have a kitchen. Like, so we can't do any of this, because I can't, I'm not gonna like, cook a steak in like a microwave. That makes crazy sense,
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to freak out. And they're like, oh, cool. Just let us know when your kitchen's done, and we'll send over the scripts then. Like, it wasn't a like hard no, which was cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about like communicating with them, and I've found the same thing, because most of the time when I'm in Bali or traveling, I'm like, oh, I can't do this until then, or would it be okay to send it to a friend or something? And they're completely fine with it. They're just like, yeah, sure, just send me the address, or that's no worries, just let me know when you're back. Because I've got a few people like actually physically in Melbourne too, who either reached out to me on Instagram or through Fiverr, and they've said, oh yeah, just let me know when you're back in Melbourne. So like, we can do the collaboration then, because they want to have like scenery in Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of brands just want to find creators they like. And it's like, that's fine. We'll work around your schedule. And I also think a lot of creators don't realize that like these brands are working with not just you, they have a calendar to fill with like a
Yeah.
schedule and like 50 different creators over, 3 months or something. So it's not like I don't know. I think that they give you more grace than what you think they will, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Communication
that's
is
interesting.
key. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest thing.
interesting.
That's the biggest tip.
Do you ever have, going back to the Bali thing, do you ever have brands that like see you're in Bali and they're like, oh cool, we want some beach shots for this digital product or what? Like, does that happen quite often where like the scenery really helps?
Not for, oh yes, actually a couple of digital products. I've got one that that trading app, they obviously want to portray the lifestyle of
Yeah.
you can live wherever you want. So yes, they did. And then also a travel sim as well. So they're like, yeah, obviously those types of scenes work well for what their product is because it's all about travel. And then pretty much like I did also have somebody else who was a jeans company and they wanted some shots at the beach as well. That one unfortunately didn't work out because they didn't have extra small, but they're like, we're bringing it out. So again, you just say like for me, I was like, I would love to work with you. Unfortunately, your sizing doesn't fit me. And they came back to me saying, yep, we're actually bringing in that size soon. So we'll be in touch later. So it's, yeah, again, communication.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
could
No,
have
they
very
have
well
able to.
just been like, sorry, I can't work with you. And they would be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And not realized why, the reason why.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you got to communicate with them for sure. That happened to me not too long ago, but it was a t-shirt company and it was the opposite problem. I was too big. I was like, yeah, these shirts are, this is like a Vietnamese shirt, man. I don't know about this. So I wanted to ask you about when you travel besides where you are home base, and that's interesting to hear about the whole post office thing. Because I was always like, are they just giving out their Airbnb address everywhere they go? Because I know certain creators do that, where they'll go somewhere for like 2 weeks and like, I'll be at this address for 2 weeks, ship it directly to me. It almost seems easier to have it go to like one central post office, where you have to
You
go
do
travel
put
to it,
in,
but.
yeah, you do have to put in your address though. So you do put in your Airbnb or wherever you're staying. And then they put the slip basically like at your door and then you go and get it.
Oh, you don't get like
Yeah.
like email or anything. Okay. I
No,
never
no,
should have
no.
done
Yeah,
that.
they physically come and like put it in. There's my friend, she's got her like guest stay. There's a lot of people stay in guest houses here because it's so cheap. So
Yeah.
her guest house, they just have like a pile of where the stuff goes, basically. But yeah, you just get it sent to wherever you're staying, and if you're somewhere long term, then it's better because yeah, the Bali mail system isn't the best.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're not worried about mail. They're chilling. Do you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
how's your network there? Like, has it been fun to meet other UGC creators? How's the networking? I want to talk about that a little bit.
It's amazing, honestly. If you're willing to put yourself out there, then you'll meet people. I think in my first month here, I was a little bit more reserved. I was just trying to find my feet a little bit, like what does life look like here? And trying not to fall into the I'm on holiday, woohoo.
Yeah. I'll be at the beach every
So
day, all day. Yeah.
yeah, so I did lock myself away a little bit. Like by lock myself away, I don't mean like I stayed in my villa the whole time. I mean like I went to cafes and stuff like that, but I was like a bit more locked into work because I was just trying to figure out my new normal. As soon as
Yeah.
I started to kind of branch myself out, just by like following creators that are in Bali, reaching out to people, um, meeting people. I got invited to a villa party that was like a launch party for somebody's client. The
Oh
whole
wow.
party was full of creators basically. So I like networked with everybody there. It was amazing. And then from there, it's just like you meet someone and they know someone and you kind of like just get to know. It's like it really is a big community here. So as long as like you're willing to like put yourself out there and just like chat to people, you will definitely find your people. And there's so many creators here, so many UGC creators and so much opportunity. I've learned so much from people. Like I'm somebody who I'm like, I will never stop learning and I don't know it all. And I will just like ask questions from other people to
Yeah.
try and learn more and more and more. And like, obviously there's people that have been in the space here for way longer than I have. So even like the tips that they've been giving me and the communities that they have as well, they're just, the opportunities here, it's kind of really accelerated my UGC career.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like even just in general, the UGC community is like super, super supportive and everyone's
Mm.
super kind. Like I haven't met any even like big time creators that are like big coaches that have programs and huge followings and stuff that have like egos. And
No,
you
yeah.
can't say the same about other industries for sure.
No, yeah, exactly. I've found the same as well. I haven't met one creator that hasn't wanted to like chat about and really help. Like you can in other industries, you feel like there's a little bit of gatekeeping. It's just really not
Yes.
like that in the UGC
Yes.
industry. And I think that's someone like I will never gatekeep anything. So I don't like it when other people do it. It feels very high school.
Yeah.
So I love that the community, like this kind of community, is very much like that. I find like the social media industry. Um, can have a little bit of a mix of it, like social media management side of the industry and marketing
Yeah.
side can be a bit of a mix of gatekeeping. But the creator side is just so much more open and friendly and meeting everybody from all over the world, like even online spaces, which is amazing.
Yeah. And I feel like there's not, to your point, I don't even know. It's like there's not as people don't see you as competition, which is I feel like logically you'd
Yeah.
be like, okay, if I'm helping a bunch of males in their 30s learn UGC, isn't that going to make less jobs for me on Fiverr? But it's not even how it works, because there's so many brands that don't know about UGC still. I don't
Yeah.
think it's ever going to. I mean, maybe I can't say never, but I don't think it's going to get to the point where like there's too many creators and not enough brands, because there's literally hundreds of thousands of companies every month that are learning about UGC, and they're all different budgets, they're all different sizes. And not only that, like every brand needs more than one creator. They need tons of creators on their roster.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I mean, I've passed clients over to friends. I've had friends pass clients to me after doing videos with them, because it's like they don't need this bald bearded dude for every video. Like they want different looks, they want different ages.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
it's not a competition, which that's what I like really like about this space, honestly.
Yeah, I do that. I'm the same. And I had a student that she's just starting out, and she also said that was her worry. She's like, oh, is it too saturated? Like, what
Oh
is
yeah.
it that why a brand's going to work with me? And I just said, lean into what your unique selling point is. So, for example, like you're not going to know it straight away until you start creating for people. But for me, my unique selling point is I'm a little bit chaotic. I'm like unconventional in what I create, but the brands who will want to work with me will work with me, and the ones who don't, and that's completely fine as well. But there's so many brands out there that you're going to find the ones that are right for you. You just need
Yeah.
to find what's unique about the way that you create content.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are worried. I get that all the time too. It's like, oh, it's too saturated. But I'm like, no, I mean, everyone's getting gigs still, and people are still getting hired all the time. And
Yep.
there's never going to be this lull in like the need for creation, because if brands aren't paying creators for ads, they're not making ads. And if they're not making ads, they're not making money. Right. And so
Exactly. And
they're,
social sells. They want it
yeah.
from real people.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think I like what you said about the unique selling points too. I've had a lot of conversations with creators about that. Either they'll be like, "Oh, I'm too old," or I'm not like. Everyone's different, and like whatever. There's gonna be a lid for every pot, right? Like every brand has exactly what they're looking for. Whether you're the 55-year-old that has horses in Oklahoma, right? Like there's people that are
Yeah.
literally looking for that specific type of person for their product.
I
And so I
actually
think that,
think that
yeah.
I actually think that the older age range is actually doing a lot better in
Way
it.
better.
I'd say older, and I don't mean like
Yeah.
old, but you know what I mean?
No,
Like
yeah,
they're
100%.
actually doing like way better in UGC because there's not as many
Way
creators in
less.
it. And there's so many brands that are looking for it. I have a friend that she was in my community that I learned through the UGC through, and she's in her 50s, like she's just turned 50, and she is like absolutely killing it with like all of the menopause, that like all
Oh,
of
yeah.
those types of products, they all need UGC creators as well.
Yeah.
So and that's her unique selling point.
Yeah, and well, it's funny too, because I have a lot of those, like I mean I'm 37, so I'm getting up there too, but like a lot of those older creators too, it's like I don't have a good voice for UGC, or I'm not good on camera. I'm like, oh, the worse you are on camera, the more pumped these brands get. They freaking love it, And like if you don't have
Yeah.
to, and a lot of them don't even do editing, which I've been saying, like just do the raw footage. Like say, hey, I'm not going to do editing. I'll send you me saying the script. I'll send you the 5 shots you want, and then you do the editing. And brands are totally cool with that. Like, so if you're older and listening to this, like, don't let the age thing scare you. Your Ash is exactly right. Like, you're like, the older you are, the less competition you have, and you have so many brands.
Absolutely.
Because think about the demographic too that is trying to sell into that niche, right? Or that age group. Like, that age group has money. They've been working their whole freaking life. Like, they have money. And so there's big brands with big budgets that have expensive products that are selling into that demographic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that age range isn't like looking at fancy edits or anything. It's the younger age range that need those fancy edits because they got a short attention span and they need that.
Yeah.
The older age range don't care about that. They just care about, oh, what's this product? Is it going to help me? And who's using it? Like, are they someone that I can relate to? They care more about the messaging than the edit anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the hooks can be way, way less hooky at that age, right? And it's like, you don't have to, the scripts are easier. I mean, I've had a couple videos where I'm 37. I've had to say, you're going to think I'm lying. I've had to say in a script probably about a month ago that I'm 65. And then after taking this pill, I look 45 or whatever. And the script was like 4 sentences long. It was super straightforward. There was zero hook. And I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And they loved it. And it took me like less than 7 minutes to do. It was wild.
I've done one really similar as well, where all I needed to say is like, if this is the city that you're in, then you need this. And it was 4 versions of that. And it took me 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people think like some of these ads, especially for the older demographic, they're chill. Like, they're super easy to do. I say this all the time and I stand by it. Anybody can do that style of UGC. Even like, I don't think you have to learn how to do crazy editing either. Most of the time the agencies are figuring that out, or whoever's the brand marketer will do that,
Yeah, the larger agencies do that most of the time anyway. It's really only if you're going to be posting it as a collaboration on your own Instagram, or they're a brand where they don't know how to do edits and they're like a smaller brand. That's really when they only want you to do them for them. Or like, if you are really good at editing and you've shown that in your videos and they're like, oh, I want her to do that or him to do that. So, but yeah, other than that, like a lot of them, like you said, they just say, just film it and send me the raw clips and we'll just do the editing.
Yeah.
Because they want to do their own versions as well.
Yeah, they want to do 4 different cut-ups of it, the raw footage anyways.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question about, I think there's a lot of people that can relate to your story where like they're in social media management, or maybe they're a social media marketer, maybe they manage 5 different accounts for 5 smaller brands, and they work with UGC creators because they're getting, collabs and these micro influencers to make videos for them. What would you say to those people that want to try out UGC for themselves? Like, I feel like they have all the necessary pieces of the puzzle to do it.
Yeah, a lot of my students are actually that exact demographic, and they're not sure how to lean into it. I always say the best way to start is create with 4 to 5 products that you already know and love. So what you're focusing on is the messaging, and you're not focusing on, basically, you already know it, you love it. Why is it that you love it? And then create videos based on like things that you already love. So you're getting a handle on how to actually do the thing. Watch them back. Where can you improve them? And then just post them as examples to your page. So I think the biggest thing that I always see, these two questions is, I don't know what first post to create, and I don't know whether I should be creating a separate Instagram for UGC.
Yes.
They're the 2 questions that I see the most from people who are trying to start out. And yeah, my biggest advice is 5 products that you already know and love, create those videos, do an introduction video, and then post your examples and just start. People delay starting because they're overthinking, and
100%.
then they just don't end up starting because they're like, okay, it's too hard. I actually don't know where to do it. Whereas if they just did the action, posted the content, they would get somewhere faster. And it's about that repetition, right? Like, none of us started creating videos and were great at it. we started creating, we looked at it and thought, oh my God, that's such a bad video. I can do this better next time. And you work on those skills, or you get the feedback from the brands and actually listen to the feedback and say, okay, maybe, yeah, they're right. I do this in the video. I maybe need to improve on this. So it's not about being the best when you first start. It's just about starting. And
Yeah.
a lot of people in the social media management industry, I think, overthink it because they are perfectionists in terms of like the way that they're creating content already for other people, and they're good at that. So then when they shift into a new type of part of the industry and they're not as good at that to start off with as they are at this, they kind of
Yep.
are very harsh on themselves. They're like, oh, my work isn't as good over here as it is there. Or I think shifting focus, for me, this is where I struggled a little bit, was shifting focus in terms of messaging, because your ideal client message is different for UGC as it is
Yeah.
for social media management. So I was kind of getting confused when I was creating content for both of my sides of my brand, because I'm like, I'm speaking to online coaches over here, and over here I'm speaking to brands and people in my audience who might want to purchase these types of things that I'm like, promoting.
Yeah.
So it is about sitting down and thinking about, okay, who it is that are you speaking to with your content, and how do I create UGC content that is going to convert?
Yeah, and I that's so true that it's way different, right? It's not way different. It's different, right, as far as
Yeah,
audiences. But I think a lot of even outside of social media managers, like people that are doing like TikTok Shop here in the States, right, or other
yeah,
people that are making content but not necessarily UGC content, like for brands. I it always shocks me how little effort it took for me to get my first inbound in my Instagram account with like less than 100 followers. And
yeah,
my content was trash. I mean, some of my content still is trash. Like it's just like it's authentic, it's relatable. I didn't spend that much time doing it, because half the time they just want to see what you look like, how you sound on camera, and you may match that vibe of the brand. But to your point, like, yeah, they may think it's trash, but I think the difference is most people won't post it to then like say like, oh, I'll do better next time, because they're too worried that like people are going to see it and judge it, which like
yeah,
nobody cares about anyone but themselves. Like, let's be real. Like, I think people think that like someone's going to watch it like, oh, that's the worst editing. No, dude, they're going to scroll away from it. They're not going to think about it ever again. So I think that
yeah,
we all have this little bit of an ego that like, oh, people might think I'm bad at this, or they might like make fun of, like, who cares, dude? Like you can laugh your way to the bank, because it doesn't matter. Like, I tell
yeah,
people that all the time.
exactly. Exactly. And there's a bias of like, you think people care more about you than you think, like than they
Yes.
actually do. Like
Yes.
realistically, like you're overthinking something and they've moved on like 20 minutes ago. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they're not going, there's so much content in
So
like,
much.
especially on the online space, that they're not sitting there being like, oh, that person did a funny face. Like they're
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah. Oh, and the crazy thing is like a lot of people are like way protective. I've had this conversation with someone in my community that has a ton of followers and like doesn't want to change their niche to like UGC. And I'm like, well, are you making money off of your followers? And they're just like, well, no, I don't want to be like salesy. I'm like, what are they there for then? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And like, who cares if some of them unfollow you? Then it doesn't matter. Also,
Yeah.
90% of the time, your followers aren't going to see your content. It's going to go out to the algorithm anyways. Like, I think people are so
Exactly.
protective about like this whole like, well, I have a following. What are they going to think about me? Like, dude, your following is just, they're just numbers. It doesn't matter. Like,
What's the
you're
point
here.
if they're not
Yeah.
converting?
Yeah. And
That's
like,
why I always say,
yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. If they're not converting in there, that they're just like, they're just there to feed your ego, to make you feel cooler about yourself, for likes and comments and stuff. But some of the creators in my community are getting inbound deals from brands with like hardly any followers on X, on Instagram, because follower count doesn't matter. Even I would argue engagement for UGC creators on their own accounts does not matter. Brands want to see you and what your videos look like. They don't go, I'm like, oh, this is a cool video. Oh, but it only has 4 likes. I don't know about this person, you know?
I've only had ever one brand ask me for my engagement stats. That's it.
Yeah.
Everyone else, and I'm like, to be honest, a lot of people see my videos, and I know people are seeing my videos. They don't interact with them, but they're in my DMs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that you don't always see like the face value of likes, comments, and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
not always transferable to what is actually, selling, because like,
Yeah.
the link clicks in your bio, your DMs, those types of things. Another thing that I was going to say as well is a random thing that I've lent into is Pinterest for UGC.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been using Pinterest, my Pinterest account, which has 131K like views and
Dang.
7K engagement. And I've just been like co-work cafes, like cute places for self-care, Airbnbs. Like I post that as well as other types of content as well, and like trends and those types of things. But it was by accident that I kind of lent into it. But I'm like people are going there for searching, that
Yeah.
type
Oh,
of
yeah. Oh,
content.
my
So
kids are obsessed with Pinterest. Like that's the only app I allow them out. Like, and like it's like
it's
I think people sleep on it. There's actually like it's still like on the rise.
people are there to purchase, basically. Like people are there
Yeah.
looking for solutions. So yeah, I accidentally kind of lent into Pinterest as well. So I'm really working on a Pinterest strategy and how to
That is wild.
use that. Yeah, a brand actually ended up, when I told them that it was the villa that I'm collabing with, I told them my engagement on Pinterest, and they were like,
Yeah.
right, yep, 3 days. We want you for 3 days. So I go 3 nights
Dang,
stay.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
something you would never think of. That's crazy. I actually have a
Yeah.
Pinterest. I haven't been on Pinterest in a while. It's literally just a bunch of tattoo boards and like clothing, and I haven't been on it for a long time. But I think it's slept on, right? And I think it's also like going back to your Instagram comment of like you only had one brand ask for engagement, because like we're not influence like micro influencers or whatever you want to call them, and UGC creators are so different.
They're totally
UGC
different.
creators aren't posting on their own account, so we shouldn't be held to the same standard as micro influencers, right?
Yeah,
We're reading a script. We're
exactly.
paid actors.
Yeah. Essentially,
Yeah.
yeah. That's how a lot of people do get confused between the two. A lot of people are like, oh, so you're an influencer. I'm like,
You're
no.
like,
Don't be offensive. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
don't do it.
I'm like, it's actually so different. Like, it's
Yeah.
totally different ball game. Like, a content creator is so different to what an influencer is, because, like you said, you're not actually posting on. Like, yes, we can do collaborations with brands and stuff as well, and we can offer
Yeah.
that. Like, it does give you a step in for a higher amount being paid, because you're actually posting on your page and stuff like that. But essentially, we're not there to post on our page. We're creating content
Yeah.
for other brand, like for the brand to post on their own. So we're not anything like an influencer, because it, like I said, paid actors.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. That's a great point. Well, I super appreciate Ash. I do want to touch before we wrap on, we talked about this before we started the episode about your, resource for new creators, essentially like a starter pack, which I thought was awesome because it's something I would have like really wanted when I started. Can you talk about that briefly? I want to make sure I link that in the show notes for our listeners.
Yeah. So it's basically a resource that is like, where do I get started? So what do I need to create to get started? So like I said, on those steps on that people have those main questions on, it answers those. Like, how do you create your first few videos? What equipment should you be using? Because you don't need to have the fancy stuff, but it's like recommendations on the essentials that you do need. There's, some pitch scripts in there as well. Some programs that I like to use to help myself with, time tracking and those sorts of things. Because for me, the time tracking was really important, because it allowed me to see where I was wasting my time and how much I should be charging brands for particular pieces of content as well.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
if you don't know, like for me, I was like, how long do I spend making this particular type of content? Because I also do the editing too. So
Yeah.
I was thinking like, how much should I be charging? Because it's like my time for setup, my time for doing the content, and my time for editing the content. And I was actually way undercharging. So that time tracking app really helped me to figure out where my time was being spent and where I was wasting time too.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bunch of resources in there around how to actually just get started, and that's a free resource that they can download.
Okay, sweet. I'll put the link in the show notes. So if you guys are listening to this, go to the show notes, click on that link, and grab that free resource. Especially if you're new, like a free resource like that is awesome to have, you know. And then I also want to plug your Instagram. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Yes. So it is Ashmah. So ASHHMAH.
Okay, I'll put that. I will throw that in the show notes as well to link to your socials. I super appreciate you hopping on. I know we were trying to figure out the time difference there. And then one day I'll make it out to Bali. I'm gonna have to hit you up for the good spots too, because I need to.
Yeah.
That's definitely on my bucket list. It's a little further for us here in the States. Not an hour flight, but still, I've heard it's
a little bit
spot.
further, but it's worth it. There's actually a lot of people out here from the US. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
no, I've got friends that have been and freaking rave about how awesome it is. So it's definitely on the list to hit up. So yeah, on the long list. So appreciate you, Ashh. If you guys want to connect with her, go to the show notes. If you are new to this podcast, super helps if you share and subscribe to this, and also leave a review if you have time and you're feeling so inclined. And we will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks again.
Thanks, Nate.